Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more The Dawnless Days, a Atilla Total War mod. We're playing as Isengard in, of course, Lord of the Rings universe, which is what this mod is all about. Now, we have a very important battle ahead of us where we do outnumber the Gondorians, and we're going to attack at night so they won't get their elite reinforcements in. However, they do have Grimbold, which is, who is a pretty good commander. However, most of their troops are tier 1. Mind you, we're not much better, but we do have a lot of experience on our hands. Although, looking at the unit ranks, not really. Like, we went through the entire campaign, like 70 or so turns of fighting with these units, and they haven't really gotten that much experience on them, but that's fine. Right, so, night attack, here we go. It's one of the most important battles of the war, or rather this second war against Gondor, if you will. The first war, we took over a few provinces, and we started to poison and cripple the Gondorian king, as was the case in the universe as well, but, well, we could say that Gandalf came and rescued him after a certain period of time, right? Because Gondor declared war on us afterwards, so you could argue that is exactly what happened. At any rate, in this second war against Gondor, we are going to have some problems. Okay, so the Goblin Men and Ruffians can stay on this side. I want two of you on the left, you in the center. Oh, sorry, right. This is the right flank. Right, okay, and then Wargs of Isengard here, two tribesmen cavalry on the other flank, and I'm going to keep Lurtz in the rear as a emergency reserve unit. Now, I intend on letting the enemy come towards me. It is night, but I can see them because they're sort of up on this little hill here. And that should let me hit them with artillery as well. So let me just switch to fire shots, right? I think that's going to do more damage. Well, it should anyway. Okay, start the battle. I want to let them come towards me rather than the other way around. But let's move up a tiny bit too. We do have this little, how do I call this, like, dent in the terrain? That's not what you call it. It's not a valley, it's not really any large geographical feature, but there is this little, like, sort of, hole in the ground, if you will. Not quite sure what to call it. It's a very small patch of lower elevation, and I think the fact that a couple of our units are here is going to make them think that we've deployed sort of more to the right side than we have in reality. I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're going sort of this way to begin the fight against us. The range of our artillery should be, yeah, there you go. We're going to actually start hitting them with artillery. I don't expect much from these onagers, so really any hit that they get is going to be impressive. And that was nothing, right? No casualties? Yeah, the enemy does start off slightly depleted on some of its units, correct? Well, heavily depleted on some, really. Yeah. Alright. I may have to move everything a bit to the right, but that's okay. We can manage that. In fact, we can do it like so. Just sort of slightly shift over. They have a lot of units, which is going to be a problem here. I mean, I know Auto-Resolve puts this as a battle that I'm winning fairly confidently. It's not quite the case, though. I mean, I don't have the quality that we've had in the previous few battles with the Fighting Uruk-hai. This is still the beginning sort of army. And yes, some of their depleted units will have problems dealing with us, or that's for sure, but well, at the same time, see if I can get some cavalry behind them. They seem to be lacking those. Rohan lacking cavalry. I know, it's because most of their elite cavalry forces are in the rear and, well, not the rear of this battle, but they're in the other army, so, you know. Okay, let's see if I can switch targets over there, because our cavalry have made it to the rear of the enemy, and we can now start hitting their archers from over here. Looks as though these guys have no... Oh, they just haven't started firing, that's why their ammunition isn't showing. Okay. Yeah, I think putting the spearmen on the right flank definitely is going to make things easier, because the Mordor rabble has proven itself to be a bit of a, well, suboptimal unit if I want to be generous, a bit useless if I want to be more realistic. So really you pick which one you prefer. Great balls of fire still being hurled at the enemy. Well, taking out a few. Oh, and apparently taking out literally just a few. Alright, we do need reserve forces on the right flank, so we're going to move alerts in. This Mordor Rabble unit could use some help. The enemy archers are fleeing. Just see if we can get these Warg Riders in on some action in the enemy rear as well, and all should be good and well. Here's really the only problematic unit in the battle, and it's heavily depleted, so I don't expect many problems to arise from this. Let's see if we can target those guys. That was very lucky to get a shot in right there. I really expected this archer unit to break sooner rather than hold the line for so long. That leaves my cavalry a bit trapped, but that's okay. We do have like all of this infantry center over here that we can deploy against the enemy. I do think our cavalrymen should retreat though. Stuck sort of between a rock and a hard place kind of situation. Let's put more troops over there. Ceasefire with the onagers. And there we go. We've now sort of left Lurtz on his own a little bit, but that's all right. We've not taken many casualties. Now, here's the big question: how many? My God, the archers have been absolutely useless. Look at this. Okay, fair enough. I could have micromanaged them a little bit better. I fully admit that this is my fault. That the micromanagement could have been slightly better, and I could have assigned better targets for them as the enemy was approaching. Toggle skirmish mode and try and see if we can hit those guys from over here. Or is this spot of the enemy army? Again, it's the same archers that are holding this line impeccably. Somewhat surprised at this fact. Well, actually, saw that very surprised at this. Okay, turn that off. I believe I ordered you to attack them a while ago. Okay. Where are my wargs? There you go. Pull that just in time so you can hit the enemy archers again, and that should be the Gondorian force dealt of Gondorian? Oh god no. I hope not. I really don't want to be fighting them at this point. That should be the Rohan force dealt with for the most part. Now I'm just going to skirmish their general to death, hopefully. He is suffering army losses. There you go, that's army losses, and that's the battle over. All things considered, I think that went fairly well. Aside from the cavalry getting a bit trapped at one point. We did wipe out the enemy army, so can't ask for much more. I mean, I would love the money. No, I'll take the money. The next force that we have to fight is pretty elite, but there's very few of them, so I won't really need the reinforcements, or the replenishing of troops. Not really. Yeah, here we go. A day battle, for once. Well, we could finagle that in there, right? So the majority of the battles I would try and make them night battles because of the lore and everything, but they are a bit boring once you just do night battles and nothing else, and they are a bit difficult because of the low visibility. So, you know. Okay, well, let me just do the same redeploying strategy of putting the Mordor rabble more towards the center, where they can be supported by flanking units. Really should get rid of this Mordor rabble. I mean, it's not like I'm wasting elite troops in terms of experience, right? I mean, the whole army has a decent chunk of experience, but it's not that important. Not here, at least. Okay, let's deploy like this. And move up a little bit. Now, I'm assuming they're going to come towards me, because that's what they always do, despite their lower numbers. Yeah, that seems to be the case here as well. Well, okay. Push the flaming rounds, mainly because I'm going to actually get to see where they're going. Most of the time with this I don't. Try and hit the infantry in the middle, because even if you miss, you'll hit one of the infantry in the flank, hopefully. Do they really have that much range? For Christ's sake, okay. Well, guess what? Everyone's moving forwards. We're going to meet the Rohirrim in an open field battle. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. And that is kind of not the go-to move when it comes to fighting Rohan, I will be the first to admit. But we don't have that much choice, to be honest with you. Okay, 3 units there against that 1, minus the half of a unit that we're going to lose in the initial charge. No. No, that is not how that was supposed to go. Ever so slightly hit our own troops, but that's fine. And then, tell you what, you in there, and then you guys get to flank around. Just use quantity against them. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Let's see if we can fix that. Expect to use lose half of this unit in the initial charge as well. Yep, there it goes. Half of it is gone. But that did expose their archers. So, realistically, I wasn't getting away with fewer casualties than this, let's be honest with ourselves. The only real problem I have is that my Warg Riders are going to get run down without doing any damage to the enemy, and that's with the archers firing as well. Well, most likely, right? Okay, I could put him on a wild goose hunt like so. That was one good shot, but now hold fire. That's good, that's good. That's not good at all. Can we get them to withdraw completely from the battle? Okay, so we've killed their general. That's good. The problem is we still haven't killed this unit of cavalry. Oh, nor the general's bodyguard, if we're honest. I can't believe, look, we're struggling to finish off the unit of archers. And don't get me wrong, we're going to win this, but we're struggling to finish off a unit of archers. That is really odd. And also, our own archers have done virtually no damage to their cavalry. How many kills you have? 2, 7, and then 11, and then... I mean, cavalry charge is just devastating. Look at this. No matter what happens, you lose half the unit in the cavalry charge. Doesn't matter if it's an armored unit, if it's a non-armored unit, if it's an archer unit, whatever. You lose half of it in the cavalry charge. I mean, that's been the experience thus far. Like, it's completely irrelevant whether the unit is any good or not, whether it's spearmen, whether it's swordsmen, shock infantry, whatever. Half of it is gone in the initial charge. That is... I mean, have you seen the movies? It's pretty realistic, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Rohirrim charge is devastating. Absolutely, I'm not complaining that it should be different. Don't get me wrong. This is something I have to deal with, right? And it's a bit of a problem. Okay, loot the battlefield, extra money, and then I'm not even gonna finish these guys off, honestly. I think. Yeah, no, instead we're going to go forced march, and we're going to try and make it to friendly territory so we start replenishing. Yeah. That's better, and obviously because there is this force here as well, I'd kind of want to make sure I can get to them. In case I absolutely need to. Now, next up, Hornburg needs... Do I just get rid of this? Is that what I need to do? Because it's +1 influence of Durin's folk in the region, but it gives me 10 dominance and 10 wealth from manufacture province-wide. It's not a bad building, this, but yeah, I guess I just need to get rid of it. Oh well. And then this is still damaged, so I can't convert it. This is not, though. I can convert this to something. And it's probably going to be cells, isn't it? No, the public order is not that bad here. We do have 2 public order buildings already. So, a labor camp then. Yeah, because then this will get converted into... cells? Fighting pits? Dunno, hard to say. We will see later, and then... Okay, that's all underway, that's all good and well. Yeah, over here I'm going to need a Quisling gathering. If I'm pronouncing that correctly. Quisling. Yeah. I doubt it has much to do with the... Was it Norwegian, right? With the Norwegian historical character, shall we say? But, yeah. Okay, now. Can I replace the general? Yes, I can. I can replace him with Ugluk. And that seems like an alright... I can also put him with Gush, who has more influence. Ugluk will do fine. Right, Ugluk. White Hand Stormers. You're the new commander. Right, there you go. Congratulations, look at you, you ugly bastard. Never mind. Look at you, you gorgeous, magnificent Urukyu. So, now that I've done that, I'm wondering, can I make it so that Saruman is the one governing the Gap of Rohan? So I just remove him from office, and then... I can't? Maybe I can't because he's just been moved this turn. Right, maybe that was my mistake. Let's wait a turn. We can do without a governor in Isengard for a turn. It's not going to be the end of the world. Mind you, this will be significant. Will cause significant damage, shall we say, to our economy for a turn, but that's not that important. I'm going to get you to support the army as well. And then see if I can recruit another... I can recruit a dignitary. I can't recruit a chieftain, and for that I need a cabin. I can recruit a chieftain over here. Of course I don't have the money for it. Alright, next turn. Unassigned followers to Shakbug. Well, there you go. And then I know I can appoint a governor. That's fine. Oh, really? You're gonna attack me, are you? I have a sneaking suspicion I can win this. I have a sneaking suspicion that this isn't... that it's gonna be one of the toughest battles of the war, definitely. Despite this just being a minor settlement. I would really like to not lose it, because my entire economy sort of depends on holding on to everything I have. How's the enemy deploying? They're deploying all in the same spot. That's actually very good for me. Because I can then deploy my units here. Deploy the barricade here. And then deploy the little rabble on the other side, and the archers can have free reign like so. Alternatively, I can put the archers up here and then deploy here, or maybe even just ignore this entire segment and deploy over here. Huh? I like that. I think I like that a little bit more. And then the Mordor rabble, numerous as they are, they get deployed in reserve. And the archers just get to sit high and pretty on these walls and fire at everything coming our way. Now, the enemy will probably hit us on this flank as well. In fact, they may hit us more on this flank than on this flank, but I have 3 units of Mordor rabble here, right? Like, they should hold the line a little bit. And then I can move some of the half-orcs if need be. I'm still not sure whether this was the correct choice, given the towers, because I will just lose the towers for nothing. And with the enemy reinforcements coming from this way, I could have maybe done this slightly differently. I'm not sure what the best option here is, honestly. I'm putting a lot of faith in the archers on the walls of the actual citadel. And I'm putting a lot of faith in this barricade holding out for long enough for these archers to do some significant damage to it. Whether that's going to be the case or not, I suppose we shall see, but there is... well, we've already broken one of their units, and this tower is still firing, so... you know. Also, wasn't there sometimes a tower on this end as well? Like around the citadel? When I was fighting for this settlement. I feel like I've been cheated out of a tower. Maybe I'm just completely wrong about that, though. Who knows? We will see, I suppose. The most important number I'm looking for is the kill on these archers. The archers need to get loads of kills, if at all possible. That's sort of what the whole battle depends on. Okay, you're done because they're breaking. I need you to go and destroy the FPS of this game. Yeah, but once you're done with that, I need you to move up there and hit those guys from sort of above, if you can. That will be lovely. We're holding the line spectacularly well. Let's not make any mistake about that. I mean, look at this. Barely any casualties. Mind you, there are still some relatively good enemy units coming, so let's not count our chickens before they hatch and all that, right? Flaming shot, force discipline, none of that is going to help. Is flaming shot going to help? Let's try flaming shot on you. It's extra damage. And who knows? Plus, this tower is probably doing a number on the enemy. Yeah, see? It's going to reduce their morale. Although, mind you, it's reducing the morale of our own men as well. But I think theirs are closer to breaking. So there is that. Try and hit those guys. I mean, you take a look at the number of arrows flying, you'd sort of expect more damage. But not really. Not really. Here's the real issue. Sorry, here's the real issue. There's a second army coming. And, well, I suppose the good news is a lot of them are already wavering, so let's switch to regular arrows now. Morale's kind of precious for both us and them. The real problem is I'm running out of arrows. Yeah, so I won't have a lot for the second army that's coming in, because I'm going to be brutally honest with you, I didn't really expect a second army to arrive. I expected to only be fighting this one. As you can see, I've dealt with this one practically. I mean, if it weren't for the reinforcements, I reckon they would be very close to army losses, if not already suffering army losses. Perhaps someone doesn't know what army losses is. Maybe I should explain that if you're not a Total War veteran or someone that's really invested in the gameplay mechanics and everything. Army losses is a morale penalty that is basically like a minus 100 morale, so it shatters every unit in the game. Well, how do you get that? That sounds very powerful. Well, you just kill enough of the enemy, right? So the game has this mechanic where if you've killed a certain percentage of the enemy, and that, I don't know what exactly that number is. I don't know if it's like 90% of the enemy or whatever has shattered or been killed, but a certain percentage of the enemy force needs to be, or a certain, not really a percentage of their soldiers, a percentage of their strength needs to be diminished, after which the entire army will just shatter. And the reason for that mechanic existing is actually kind of genius. It was cracked a little bit. It's actually kind of genius because it prevents situations where, for example, the enemy will have one unit of horse archers running around the battlefield endlessly because you can't chase them down and you've wiped out, like, 19 enemy units already. So it prevents these awkward situations of having to try and chase down one enemy unit that's still on the loose somewhere. Okay, now I need you to, once again, break the FPS of this game entirely, but then try and do this. Okay, so they're not going for the barricade. That's, well, good-ish. Problem is they're going over here. Alright. Don't worry, guys, the Mordor rabble is coming to help you. You know what? Never mind. Maybe you should be worried, for all I know. Okay, I need you to hit those, if you can. From there, that would be lovely. I think you're going to win that battle every day easily. And then aside from the shock cavalry, there isn't that much to be worried about, if we're honest. Mind you, that's like saying aside from the elephant in the room, there isn't much to be worried about, but, you know, a very literal elephant in the room, not the expression. Or aside from the fact that we're all on fire, we're all perfectly healthy. You know, it's a pretty big but there. However, they didn't really get to charge in due to their own infantry being here, and the slope is also helping, I'm assuming, although I know terrain doesn't play as much of a... Are you out of range and they're not? Is that the problem? That is indeed the problem. Okay, what if I just told you to... Oh, you're gonna have to reform. Oh, for crying out loud again with the... Stop! There you go. That's what I want you to do. Now, I hate to be that kind of person, but if this was one of the older Total War games, terrain would play much more of a feature, and the fact that we're shooting down at them would give us a massive advantage. In this game, it doesn't. Just pointing out the obvious, what can I do? It's my job. But I reckon... I mean, the game doesn't think so, but okay, now we're finally firing. Just had to reform here, I suppose. Although, fat load of good that is doing us. We've killed 2 of their units, or 2 of their, well, I wish, 2 of their men, not even units. Okay, could you move up a little bit and maybe get some shots on those guys? Huh? Reckon you have like a volley or 2 left in you? 1? Like half a volley maybe? No, we have 2 arrows left. Okay, well that was rather uneventful. Can I get these guys to move down here and get you into position instead? Maybe fire off the 3 remaining arrows you have at the enemy, doing some damage to them, because otherwise we're not really going to be able to touch them. Although, with that in mind, I could just completely withdraw from this area. Okay, their general's dead, that's very good. And they've shattered. Okay, so now we get to run down the hill and charge at them and retake our homes. What, orcs have homes as well? Have you not seen the newer Lord of the Rings franchises? They're just misunderstood beings. They have families, goddammit. Being sarcastic, if you couldn't tell. There are a few shows I hated more than The Rings of Power. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think the worst part is, as a generic fantasy show, it's really not that bad. I mean, it definitely doesn't deserve all the hate it gets as a generic fantasy show. Problem is, it's not a generic fantasy show. It's Lord of the Rings, or it's LARPing as Lord of the Rings, right? And, well, that could have really been a lot better. Anyways, that's the end of the battle. And here are the results. Ginsberg has been successfully defended. We killed 1 of the generals, the other one's alive with 2 units left. And we can take... Also, there's no reason not to take the money. Replenishment is not going to do much for us. We're not going to get attacked again in a long while here, I don't believe. So, another Rohan general falls. And so does my income. Oh, right. Yes, of course, I know why that's happening. We don't have a governor in Isengard anymore, and the edict is gone as well. Yeah, so let's go over to managing these things. Can you be put to govern the Gap of Rohan? Yes, you can. And probably should, given the traits, right? Yeah. He's, I mean, the battle stuff, the authority, and so on and so forth is good, but the governance being at what, level 10? That is massive, I believe. Yeah, plus there's also Keeper of Tallies, so 8% tax. Recruitment costs for the commanded force going down is not bad, but like, yeah, overall this is... Saruman's, I think, much better off governing a province than anything else. And then we want an engineer, right? Because the Gap of Rohan, mostly... well, not mostly... 99% of its income is coming from industrial buildings. Oh, right, my apologies for the other jump cut. Someone at the door. So, where was I? Yes. You can immediately see the difference in income. It is hilarious. It's almost doubled, right? I mean... wow, and that is without the edict that's going to come in next turn. Plus, this place needs to get repaired as well. It is mental, the difference that makes. Okay, so... we're going to switch Hornburg over to the conquered city of Hornburg. It's kind of weird calling it a city. It's technically a castle, right? But no, it's also technically a city, gameplay-wise at least. Alright, and we can start converting these things into our own culture buildings. And I believe that also sets us up to go further along. We can now move into the East Fold. Just out of curiosity... oh... right, I did not know that. I could technically follow the path of the dead and make it into Gondor from here, but I would assume the attrition... yeah, I would assume the attrition is just going to mop up the army, right? Then again, maybe not, but I would rather not even try, honestly, at this point. Yeah. So, let's get rid of the remaining Rohan forces in our area. There we go. That's one, and then I'm pretty sure I'm just going to take the money for all of these, like the little tiny injections of cash go a long way. Might let me even construct another building this turn, so, you know. And the 1% replenishment is not really worth it at all, in my modest opinion. So, that means we should make our way towards Dunharrow. Oh, sorry, not Dunharrow, Dunburg this turn. Maybe. Potentially. Well, I mean, we have the option to. Do we do it is a different question altogether. I think what we absolutely must do is get rid of this Mordor rabble. So, disband these units, absolutely, right? Because they are not very good. And in their stead, we could recruit some proper Uruk-hai infantry, huh? Though the upkeep for them is pretty massive. In fact, we can only get one. But you know what? Honestly, it's worth it. I'd rather have one Urukai infantry than two of those. Absolutely. Question is, do I march forward and continue towards the Eastfold? With this army in the north, they probably won't be able to reach any of the settlements, although they are recruiting. Yeah, I think the more economic damage I can do to Rohan, the better off we are. And obviously we need to fight this battle manually too. But yeah, I need to take more lands off of Rohan's. Plain and simple, right? We've done the whole strategic bit where we, you know, force them into choke points, make their armies extend, etc., etc. We've done the strategic part of the war, where we focus on eliminating the enemy forces, but now we need to actually take over their lands, right? Why do you move artillery to the side like that? It's an old habit from Napoleon Total War, believe it or not. It's an old habit from Empire Total War that then moved into Napoleon Total War and then worked there as well and was necessary there as well. And then, well, ever since it's stuck with me. The reason I do it is kind of old-fashioned and old school, right? Used to be, in the older Total War games, when you put artillery next to each other, the end two artillery pieces would be too close together. They still are in modern Total War games. They still get, like, a little bit closer together, the two end artillery pieces. In modern Total War games, this doesn't really matter, because they just operate fine on their own, like, as you just deploy them. In Empire and Napoleon Total War, they would hit each other. God forbid one had to fire, like, on the left side and the other on the right side, and they would crossfire. They could hit each other, and you would end up losing a fair number of men to them just accidents, basically, right? And, yeah, ever since, I've had a habit of doing it like this. Okay, I don't have any artillery in this army, do I? No, I don't. No, you know what, that's fine. To be fair, I probably couldn't even attack these archers with cavalry because of the mustard axemen. Well, they are just medium infantry, though. I could just hit and run hammer and anvil sort of thing, right? Yeah. Oh well. That's fine. I'm just gonna get rid of the towers first and foremost. Get rid of more or less their only advantage, and then we'll take things from there. Can you hit the power tower from there? You should be able to, right? Yep. Yes, you can. Lovely. And I mean, if they're willing to let me just pluck away at their ranks at a distance with ballistas, I'm more than happy to do it. Don't quite see why not. Yeah, I mean, there goes another tower. And I reckon I can hit their mustard spears as well. No? Archers in the back? Yeah, I can definitely hit the archers in the back. I mean, it's not a ton of damage that we're doing, but it's 3 kills, look at that. We've got like 50 with this artillery piece already. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but if they're just gonna stand still and let me bombard them to Kingdom Come, then I mean, who am I to say no, right? Who am I to say no? that's enough. Can you hit those guys, maybe? I feel like they're sort of far enough away where you can drop the bolts. Yeah, you can. There you go. We're going to just do this until the... till we run out of ammunition. But as I was saying, in Empire, it was a particular problem because you would keep losing men like that. In Napoleon, less so, but it would still happen occasionally. And so I got in the habit of really micromanaging the artillery to where I make sure they're positioned in such a way so they don't really interact with the neighboring units and stuff like that. So every time I see like two artillery pieces close together, it's just alarm bells go off in my head, like, oh no, that's not good. Move it, move it, move it. Even though in like more modern Total War games that doesn't really happen anymore. They still deploy like next to each other, but they're able to operate just fine. Especially in like the Warhammer series, right? They would... I don't know why it does that sometimes. The troops would... Again, what? Why? I really don't understand why they just teleport the troops I'm trying to deploy over there. Look at that. Well, anyways, they've decided to come in closer.
They are trying to take out our general.
I don't recommend that, but who am I to say no to the enemy making a mistake, so... off we march, I suppose. We do attack soon, indeed. And if we can try and just get around all of this, that would be lovely if we can get behind their lines with some of our cohorts. It's not that the archers are a threat, they really don't do that much damage, it's more so that the archers are a bit of a nuisance when it comes to their morale. Right, so the more of the archers we manage to kill, the faster the battle will end. Yeah, we weren't able to do anything here, unfortunately. Okay, am I missing any infantry units that are not in the fight? No. They are all in the fight. Okay. You will go after them, and you will go around like so to hit the enemy in the rear, and we should really sandwich them nicely. Oh, there is another unit up there. Okay, tell you what, the pikes and the Orthanc servants can go after it. And this unit of infantry can go after the archers. And since we have the rare opportunity to, let's take a look at some of the fighting. They are really of quite impressive quality, the unit animations and the troops and everything. Really impressive. We get to see the pikemen fight at, well, relatively speaking, their range and how they're supposed to, so... Look at that. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a teeny tiny bit depressing how that one unit of archers is able to... What the hell is wrong with my voice, that one unit of archers is able to just keep permanently running away from us. And they even have enough time to turn around, fire off a volley, and then continue. And of course there's the other unit of archers permanently running away from us too. It's a little bit annoying. Okay, tell you what, we have to capture the plaza if we want to win this battle. How are we doing over here? Actually, like, slowly, but we're really chipping away at them with these pikes, and then it's an interesting fight. Let's take a closer look at it. Yeah, there you go. They can't really approach us. I mean, they're sort of getting in on the flanks a little bit over here, but not really. In fact, I can probably fix that if I go advance. And then advance some more. Yeah, it'll cover these guys' flanks. Let's advance some more. Oh, look at that. Honestly, pretty impressive, all things considered. It's just that well, kind of sucks that I have to chase down the archers. This army needs like 2 Warg Rider units badly. Problem is, it was recorded in a bit of a hurry, and didn't really have the time or the resources to give them the cavalry. And yeah, this is what Army Losses was designed to prevent: the enemy just running away infinitely for God knows how long.
Hidden unit, we're being ambushed.
Well, there are archers. I mean, these guys have been running the entirety of the battle from start to finish, and they're still fresh.
This victory point belongs to us now.
Now they've made the mistake of closing into melee range, so I'm gonna be able to get rid of them. But I mean, look at this. They've gone to the edge of the map. This was, I remember this being a thing in Rome Total War, and it annoyed the living snot out of me when Parthian horse archers would do that. It was, I mean, historically realistic, I suppose, right? Anyways, decisive battle, and we are done, and I think I'm going to call the video there. It's been almost an hour. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and well, what the hell's that? Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get something in my throat, and, you know, hopefully stumble over my words less, or stumble over some of the noises that I'm making less, in the next video. We've taken another settlement from Gondor. Again from Gondor. I'm asking for trouble with these words, I really am. We've taken another settlement from Rohan, and it should fix itself more or less by the end of next turn, or the turn after that. Let's just grab a commander for you. And the unit's going to receive some replenishment. But the First Legion has also received another upgrade. Battle movement and battle fatigue reduction. Morale against Rohan. Yeah, I'm going to go with battle movement, because they don't have any cavalry. If I can increase their speed ever so slightly, maybe it'll make a difference in some situations. Who knows? And then Lurtz keeps getting better, if such a thing is even possible. I know, right? Yeah. Let's go with the blacksmith. Okay, good. And that's about it. I'll see you all next time. Until then, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.